Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Judges, the 14th chapter, Samson's marriage. And as we went through in the 13th chapter, we saw the birth of Samson, right, and basically how the Lord would raise him up and set him up to eventually be a deliverer of Israel from the Philistines through the different occasions that the Lord would seek against the Philistines by the hand of Samson. So this is Judges 14 and 1. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? So of all the, is there no woman of the tribes of Dan or of the tribes of Israel that you can get to marry, that you want to go all the way to these Philistines to get a wife? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. So he was adamant about it. He wanted that, and that's what he wanted. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord Yahweh that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. So they didn't know that the Lord was doing this because he wanted to have a reason to have Samson involved with the Philistines. So he used a woman to catch his eye, so that could be a start of their interaction. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then Samson went down, and his father and his mother, to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath. And behold, a young lion roared against him. So as they were journeying, now at this point, chances are they're in Timnath, but maybe Samson either wandered off or was somewhere where his parents weren't there with him. And this is where the lion basically tried to attack him. That's what it means by a roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh came mightily upon him, and he rent him, the lion that is, as he would have a kid. So he tore that lion up, as easily as he would have taken out like a baby goat, which is what a kid is. Now it doesn't say how. He might have grabbed it by the mouth, ripped open his jaws. However he did it, he did it. And he had nothing in his hand, so he basically killed the lion with his bare hands. But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her. So he basically came to discuss with the family and, talk through it and so on. I want your daughter, the parents talk. And once it was agreed upon, some time later, he came to take her, i.e. the wedding. And he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. So he looked at the place where he had killed the lion, and he saw that, oh shit, its carcass was still there, but this time you had bees and making honey up in there. And he took thereof in his hands and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told them not. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. Chances are they probably would have been upset at it, considering touching a carcass was unclean, and let alone eating honey out of it. And Samson was under the Nazarite vow. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. So he basically like threw like a party, right? Because that was like the thing to do at the time. And it came to pass when they saw him that they brought 30 companions to be with him, being like 30 young men that would be with Samson, like a little crew. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets, which are like robes, and 30 change of garments. But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. So what's the riddle? And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? Now I'll read this. In some of these other translations, they do have this as the 4th day as opposed to the 7th. And likely because of the verses below, which, if you go with the 7th day, then that would mean that they came and basically coerced Samson's wife for the answer, to find out the answer on the 7th day. She cried unto him on the 7th day. He revealed it to her on the 7th day. She revealed it to them on that same day. And then they came and told Samson before the sun went down. All right, as opposed to the 4th day, like some of the other translations have it, which would have meant that the events that transpire after verse 15 would have taken the span of a couple of days leading up to the 7th day. And it came to pass on the 7th day, right? In the KJV, that's how it is. And also the NKJV. Yeah, they even have the footnote here. Following Masoretic text, Targum and Vulgate, Septuagint and Syriac read 4th, as in the 4th day. So in the NLT, it says, on the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife. So after 3 days of not being able to find out the riddle, according to this translation, on the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, Entice your husband to explain the riddle for us, or we will burn down your father's house with you in it. Did you invite us to this party just to make us poor? Because if they couldn't tell the riddle, they would have to give him the 30 sheets and a change of garments. And Samson's wife wept before him and said, Thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me. So, she put on the womanish act, right? The only way she knew how, which was to cry unto him and to, tug at his emotions and so on and so forth. Oh, you don't love me. How are you going to tell my people a riddle? You didn't even tell me. You don't care about me, yada, yada. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother. And shall I tell it thee? So I haven't even told my own parents. And you expect me to tell you? Why should I tell you? And she wept before him the 7 days, while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her. So you can imagine, right? The same thing over and over and over again, just stressing him out. Because she lay sore upon him. So he finally told her. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, Hey, we got your answer. What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye had not found out my riddle. Now, a heifer is a female cow, which is the plowing, obviously, is like to use it to work. But what he is saying here is, if you hadn't messed with my wife, you would not have gotten the answer to this riddle. So in other words, you cheated. But as it says here, and the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon and slew 30 men of them, being in the Philistines' region, and took their spoil and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. So he was pissed off. He gave them the garments at the expense of their men, but, he still gave them the garments. And then he left. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. So one of those companions that hung around him, that was here when it says used as his friend, it's meaning like as his quote unquote best man at the wedding. So he ended up giving his wife to him, to that companion there. And that brings us to the end of the book of Judges, the 14th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.